video, we are going to talk about, it's kind of dirty. We are going to talk about Wilbur's Boast and my braces. As you can see, I got my braces, and up here, I didn't got them, but I have this thing to make it better. So let me tell you the backstory. My teeth are not they're straight. It's just that here needs to be like it can like this, but it's supposed to be like this. So that's why we got it. And yeah, and then in the middle of the video, we paused a minute, and few days later we filmed it again, and then you will realize that the voice is different because I got these braces and it's kind of hard to talk with. Yeah. So, but that time I tried my best, and then now I kind of got used to it, but still I kind of have like this kind of crazy accent, but please forgive me guys. And anyways, so this story is about a pig which name is Wilbur, and it wanted to spin a web because to show off to the spider that he's not the only one who can spin a web, but he didn't get to do it. So he felt very sad, and then apologized to the spider to what he showed up and stuff. And yeah, so let's get started. Woo!
Wilbur's Boast from SWEB. A spider web is stronger than it looks. Although it's made of thin, delicate strands, the web is not easily broken. However, a web gets torn every day by the insects that kick around it. A spider must rebuild it when it gets full of holes. Charlotte liked to do her weavings during the late afternoon, and Fern liked to sit nearby and watch. One afternoon, she heard a most interesting conversation and witnessed a strange event. "You have awfully hairy legs," Charlotte said Wilbur, as the spider busily worked at her task. "My legs are hairy for a good reason," replied Charlotte. "Furthermore, each leg of mine has 7 sections: the coxa, the trochanter, the femur, the patella, the tibia, the metatarsus, and the tarsus." Wilbur sat bolt upright. "You're kidding," he said. "No, I'm not either." "Say those names again. I didn't catch them the first time." "Coxa, trochanter, femur, patella, tibia, metatarsus, and tarsus." "Goodness," said Wilbur, looking down at his own chubby legs. "I don't think my legs have 7 sections." "Well," said Charlotte, "you and I live different lives. You don't have to spin a web. That takes a real legwork." "I could spin a web if I tried," said Wilbur, boasting. "I've just never tried." "Let's see you do it," said Charlotte. Fern chuckled softly, and her eyes grew wide with a love for the pig. "Okay," replied Wilbur. "You coach me and I'll spin one." "It must be a lot of fun to spin a web. How do I start?" "Take a deep breath," said Charlotte, smiling. Wilbur breathed deeply. "Now climb to the highest place you could go to, like this." Charlotte raced up to the top of the doorway. Wilbur scrambled to the top of the manure pile. "Very good," said Charlotte. "Now make an attachment with your spinnerets. Hurl yourself into space and let out a dragline as you go down. Wilbur hesitated a moment, then jumped out into the air. He glanced hesitantly behind to see if a piece of rope was following him to check his fall, but nothing seemed to be happening in his rear. And the next thing he knew, he landed with a thump. Boom! He glanced. Charlotte laughed so hard her web began to sway. "What did I do wrong?" asked the pig when he recovered from his thump. "Nothing," said Charlotte. "It was a nice try." "I think I'll try again," said Wilbur cheerfully. "I believe what I need is a little piece of string to hold me." The pig walked out of his yard. "You there, Templeton?" he called. The rat poked his head out from under the throat. "Got a little piece of string I could borrow?" asked Wilbur. "I need to spin a web." "Yes, indeed," replied Templeton, who saved string. "No trouble at all. Anything to oblige." He crept down into his hole, pushed the goose egg out of the way, and returned with an old piece of dirty white string. Wilbur examined it. "That's just the thing," he said. "Tie one end to my tail, will you, Templeton?" Wilbur crouched low, with his thin curly tail toward the rat. Templeton seized the string, passed it around the end of the pig's tail, and tied 2 half hitches. Charlotte watched in delight. Like Fern, she was truly fond of Wilbur, whose smelly pan and stale food attracted the flies and that she needed. And she was proud to see that he was not a quitter and was willing to try again to spin a web. While the rat and the spider and the little girl watched, Wilbur climbed again to the top of the manure pile, full of energy and hope. "Everybody watch!" he cried. And summoning all his strength, he threw himself into the air, head first. The string tailed behind him, but as he neglected to fasten the other end to anything, it didn't really do any good, and Wilbur landed with a thud, crushed and hurt. Tears came to his eyes. Templeton grinned. Charlotte just sat quietly. After a bit, she spoke. "You can't spin a web, Wilbur, and I advise you to put the idea out of your mind. You lack 2 things needed for spinning a web." "What are they?" asked Wilbur, sadly. "You lack set of spinnerets, and you lack know-how. But cheer up, you don't need a web. Jackerman supplies you with 3 big meals a day. Why should you worry about trapping food?" Wilbur sighed. "You're ever so much clever and brighter than I am, Charlotte. I guess I was just trying to show off. Serve me right." Templeton untied his string and took it back to his home. Charlotte returned to her weavings. "You needn't to feel too badly, Wilbur," she said. "Not many creatures can spin webs. Even men aren't as good as spiders, although they think they're good. And they will try anything. Did you ever heard of the Queensboro Bridge?" Wilbur shook his head. "Is it a web?" "Sort of," replied Charlotte. "But did you know how long it took men to build it? 8 whole years. My goodness! I would have starved to death waiting that long. I can make a web in a single evening." "What do people catch in the Queensboro Bridge? Bugs?" asked Wilbur. "No," said Charlotte. "They don't catch anything. They just keep trotting back and forth across the bridge, thinking there's something better on the other side.
If they hang head down at the top of the thing and wait quietly, maybe something good will come along. But no, with man it's rush, rush, rush every minute. I'm glad that I'm a sedentary spider. What does sedentary mean? Asked Wilbur. Means I sit a good part of time and don't go wandering all over creation. I know a good thing and when I see one, and my web is a good thing. I stay put and wait for what comes. Gives me a chance to think. Well, I'm sort of sedentary myself, I guess, said the pig. I have to hang around here whether I want to or not. You know where I'd really like to be in this evening? Where? In the forest looking for beech nuts and truffles and delicatable roots, pushing a leaf aside with my wonderful strong nose, searching and sniffing along the ground, smelling. You smell just the way you are, remarked Aloud, who had just walked in. I can smell you from here. You're the smelliest creature in the place. Wilbur hung his head. His eyes grew wet with tears. Charlotte noticed his embarrassment and she spoke sharply to the lamb. Let Wilbur alone, she said. He has perfect right to smell. Considering his surroundings, you're no bundle of sweet peas yourself. Furthermore, you're interrupting a pleasant conversation. What were we talking about, Wilbur, when we were so rudely interrupted? Oh, I don't remember, said Wilbur. It doesn't make any difference. Let's not talk anymore for a while, Charlotte. I'm getting sleepy. You go ahead and finish your web, and I'll just lay here. You go ahead and finish fixing your web, and I'll just lay here and watch you. It's a lovely evening, Wilbur snatched out on his side. Twilight scattered over Jackerman's barn, and a feeling of peace struck you guys. Anyways, I think the story was very fun, but for me, I'm kind of mad for the lamb because even though I know pigs are like smelly and stuff, but it can't hurt the feelings of it, even though it was just for a joke or I don't know, just saying. It's still bad, I think, and yeah, that part I was kind of sad, but it's okay. Well, Charlotte tried to save Wilbur, so. And yeah, I think for me the sad part is I didn't get to see the girl in this. Let me show you. Like here, this girl, I didn't get to see her in this book, which is kind of sad because it's on the book cover and then we couldn't see it. It's kind of sad, you know, but we can go with it, and I think I like the story. I have no complaints. I have nothing to worry about. Just perfect. This story was very perfect, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy it, don't forget to click that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notification bell so you won't miss out any videos. I'll see you next time. Bye!